Well, this is the first stream in a long time. I'm trying to test my phone to see if this is a viable option to stream on my phone. I don't know if anyone can hear me. I don't know if it's better like that. I have a microphone plugged into an interface plugged into my phone. So I'm hoping that that works out. I don't know how that's going to work with StreamYard or anything like that, but might as well try it. So I've got my vape. Um, quit smoking. It's been about a month since I quit smoking, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I don't even know if anybody's around right now. It's like 12:40 here on the West Coast. So not sure where it would how it were what time it would be in other places. So um yeah. So I've been thinking about doing streaming for a while. I just don't know what to stream. And I watched a video about vlogging, and that you don't necessarily have to have a entirely exciting life or an interesting life in order to um, vlog about whatever you want to do. So I'm thinking, that was always my fear for the beginning, was to kind of think that my life isn't necessarily extraordinary. I mean, to make music, but other than that, it's not like I don't get out too much. I don't do a lot of stuff. I work. Sometimes I go for drives. It's pretty fun, but I'm planning on kind of making my life a little bit more fun, maybe going out and meeting people and kind of going to events perhaps and stuff like that. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone's here. That's okay. We'll wait a little bit. Maybe some people will show up. Not necessarily sure. But yeah, I think I'd like to today talk about my mental health a little bit, talk about my creative process. Not that there's anything fantastic about it or anything like that, but it would be kind of nice to kind of just have a chat with people from the community, kind of figure out where to take my music from here, because I mean right now my music is it seems like it's going pretty good from the outside, but it's kind of at a standstill right now. My inspiration and my sense of quality is kind of dipping, or at least plateauing right now. So I've got to kind of figure out a way of, oh hey, how's it going? It's Princess LDG. Can you hear me? Is it coming through all right with through the microphone? Let me know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Today's going to be a day where I get people to kind of ask questions if they have time. My cat is knocking over cans. Lol. So, anything from I'm gonna give like about like three topics, let's say. Anything regarding mental health. I have schizoaffective disorder and schizophrenia, or no, sorry, schizoaffective disorder and ADHD. So that's a topic that I'm pretty open about. Music, of course, we're all here for music. Music. By the way, howdy, Rhodey's Jam Cave. It's good to see you here. Um, yeah, we could talk about my creative process, but any kind of questions from the crowd. If anyone kind of has questions about my mystical, magical, and really quite easy process of making music, or me as a person, or just any random questions. I guess the third topic I haven't really figured out yet. maybe questions about the community, questions about what I would like to do as far as streaming in the future. It's hopefully right now I will be able to have like kind of formulate an idea of my streaming in the future. I think I want to do something original. I don't want to be like the same as everyone else. As they're doing great and stuff with the shows and everything, uh getting people's music out there and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think it'd be a great idea to kind of figure out something on like I need to get out there. I need to get more people watching my stream, and I need to kind of develop a personality online, not just kind of release video after video and not kind of have a face behind the music or whatever. Here's my cat. It's my cat right there. Um yeah, it's good to see all of you. I'm really happy with how everything's going as far as the community. I think what would be good would be like maybe suggestions. Yeah, maybe suggestions from the crowd of what do you think I could offer the community if I were to have a show or if I were to have a stream. What are some kind of things that you haven't seen before, if anything comes to mind? I'm thinking the one thing that I tried doing before was doing like a showing or like mutual creating of songs, like a creative process where everyone kind of gets together and adds input to inevitably make a song by the end of the stream, which is fun. I might try that again sometime if I have more viewers. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking Leela got mad at me because I unintentionally copied the name of her stream called Music Chat. So I'm not gonna do a music chat. She's doing a good show over there with the practice makes progress. That's pretty awesome. I and then who's got it? Mr. Smith has the new stream. It's amazing. Like he's awesome, and he's tackling the whole live performance thing, which is very difficult, especially if you kind of have if you're like your big worst critic of yourself. If you have any kind of slight misstep, you can kind of you if you don't allow yourself to kind of pace yourself or whatever, it can be kind of stressful. But yeah, it's funny. I just kind of thought I'd do this stream right, just out of the blue and kind of test my phone and see if this thing will work as far as my rig. The next thing I'm gonna get is a tripod for it. I've got a decent mic. It's like this weird, obscure. It's an Art C1 mic, and it seems to be working pretty good. So, um, yeah, maybe I'll just spiel about it. Maybe I'll just talk about my mental health, regardless of questions. So, I started making music in 2012, and by this time, I had been diagnosed schizophrenic since 2009, and that was a pretty big blow to my system. I kind of what happens, it's called a prodromal phase. So it kind of it elapses over time and gets worse and worse and worse before you need to take medication and stuff. And that first little bit is the worst part because you don't understand what's going on with your world. Your world is basically turning upside down, and you've got no reference point because you don't have a diagnosis or anything like that. So you have no idea how to even. It's just a weird feeling. But once you get the diagnosis, it's like a double-edged sword. Two kind of side. There's a positive, which means you have a focal point. So yeah, that's a good point. Everyone makes mistake roadies and road. See, I I'm very happy with myself. I'm not, I don't care about mistakes or anything like that. I talk so much that it comes out like verbal diarrhea. So, my friend said I was a loquacious person, which means I talk a lot. But anyways, back to the story. There's two sides of being diagnosed with something like schizophrenia, and that the first one is it's a good thing that you have a vocal point that you can attack because at that point, it's like I have an actual thing. It's not just my it's not my world literally crumbling below me or whatever, right? But the horrible part is usually people when they're given this big scary diagnosis of schizophrenia or something like that, they think about all the unfortunate like stigmatized people, maybe they're homeless, maybe they're addicted to drugs, maybe they're just not having a good time or in the worst, like perpetually in and out of mental health services and stuff like that. And when you think about that, you never truly think about yourself with those kind of thoughts. Like you never would picture yourself being that way. And then all of a sudden you get this diagnosis, and it's like it's kind of a bummer, And I hate labels because once you've labeled yourself with something, it's almost like you have put a glass ceiling above yourself and your ability to be a competent and like functional, productive member of society, or even just be yourself, even just have some kind of level of fulfillment in your life, and it gets kind of like diminished by that label. But yeah, back in 2012, or no, sorry, back in 2009, I got diagnosed, and then after that, I didn't know what to do with myself. Didn't really have a habit. Didn't really. Hey, Gordium, how's it going? And I forgot to say hi to Blue Unicorn. It's good to see you both. Um, but yeah, it's like I didn't have anything to do, and I always listen to music. I always had my headphones on. I was always listening to music ever since I was really young. And I was a bit of an introvert growing up, always just kind of stuck to video games or music, and that's it, or and listen to music while I'm playing video games. So I listened to a lot, and I was able to observe a lot of things. But whenever I got into like music school or music at high school or something like that, I hated it. I hated the math and the like playing an instrument. And it sucks because I wasn't able to develop myself and practice to the point where I actually became competent at something. I mean, if I started it again, if I tried to do it this time, I think I'd probably go with the piano above all. But yeah, slight digression. Let's get back to 2012, few years after I got diagnosed. Yeah, yeah, Dulcimer's dope. That's a good one, Gordium. And a few years after I got diagnosed, with 2009 to 2012, someone showed me this program called Ableton. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it's one of the premier and most popular programs, or DAWs, digital audio workstations, that people use to make music, pretty much like Lego, like I do. Um, I didn't understand that. I downloaded it for my computer, and hey Clay, how's it going? Good to see you. Um, yeah, I kind of, oh, Richard too. Nice. Um, yeah, on Ableton, it was like Greek to me. I don't know if you know that saying. It's all Greek to me. It was it's like an indecipherable maze of weird things. It wasn't intuitive, and I gave up on it. I thought, oh man, I had this big dream about becoming an electronic music producer, and I couldn't make it past the tutorial page or whatever. So I had a moment, and then after a while, me and that other friend split up. But I met a new friend. He showed me some of the music he made. I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. You did a remix of like I think a Ludacris song. And yeah, it was cool. I was like, "What program did you use? Did you use Ableton?" He's like, "No, I got this program called Fruity Loops. It's FL Studio, and I thought, oh, that's funny. My friend, I remember one of my old friends used to always say, "Oh, if I made music, I'd get it on Fruity Loops and I'd make ambient music." So that kind of like it just kind of like clicked, and then like, "Oh, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it." So I went over to his place and we sat down in his basement. He has kind of a cool, funky place, and yeah, he instantly put it on and showed me just the basics of how to make a beat, and I was hooked. I was like, "No, this makes sense to me. This actually looks like something that I could really have fun with." So I immediately downloaded it at home, and yeah, I'd been making music since from 2012 to about 2015. And oh, hey, Omni Collective, how's it going? Um, I'd been making music till about 2015, and then I became homeless and lost my computer, lost all my music, and then homeless for about 8 months. A little bit after that, I lived in crappy places, and then I got a new computer with a tax return. And from about 2016 until just recently, I'd been making pretty much 2, 3 beats a week, almost consistently for that whole time. So, and maybe it's Sebulba, my favorite song of yours, is one of the surveys came up as I checked all the boxes, listen often. That's good. I really like that song. It's like one of my favorite just moments of my childhood was racing. If people don't know, there's a Sebulba as a character. I made a song about it. He's from Star Wars, and there's a racing game that features him in the game, and I made a whole tribute song to this video game. And Gordium's just bringing that up, so that's cool. But yeah, no, I've been making music a long time. My mental health, the whole schizophrenia thing has it's it hasn't gotten in the way of making my music even in the worst times, but my music has helped the mental illness. It also like ever up until about just last year, I didn't have an audience, and I kept on making song after song in the dark without anybody really listening to it. That I'd get like a couple hits on SoundCloud or whatever. But then I met this one random dude, and he told me about Real Talk Radio, which is a group on Facebook of a bunch of musicians. I think there's like I think what is it? There's like 3,200 musicians on Real Talk Radio. It's a good place to be. It's not 100% the most active, but it's you can connect with people through there. It's got great artists on there. I work with some of them. So it's free too. So if you got a Facebook, just look up Real Talk Radio. It might be one word. Um, but yeah, and then through there, Ron Ward of Homegrown Indie Live, he had an ad or like a post in Real Talk Radio, and he said he was doing a live stream. He said he was sharing people's songs, and my Blue Unicorn theme was from a band I had with a friend of mine that had paranoid schizophrenia. There is a bunch of songs we did. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I find a lot of people who have schizophrenia or bipolar or what have you tend to be pretty creative. They have like decent outlets that kind of help them cope with their illness or symptoms or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Where was I? I was on Real Talk Radio, and I saw Ron Ward's post, so I tried it. Instantly hooked. Again, like I did just when I came into the community. Ever since before that, I had never really been in streams. Like I don't even play online video games because I get kind of socially awkward. Not awkward, but like socially anxious when I go into places like that because of course I mean it comes with the territory, a bit of paranoia that I deal with every day. So when I found the Ron Ward's chat and just was joining in, everyone was saying hi to me, and I was, I'd share my music. Oh yeah, take care, Princess LDG. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for popping in. Um, but yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. I just dove right into it. Within a couple months, I already had I have a homegrown T-shirt, and then I also have one of the mugs. I have a mug somewhere around here. One sec. Actually, I'll be back. Okay. It's easier to show you the mug. So I got the homegrown Indie Live mug, and I almost felt like I found a gold mine. You know. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna check on the. I'm obsessively creative, but don't know. I should label myself with a mental illness and thus box myself. I was just talking about that earlier. The whole label becomes your identity, and and it's like a glass ceiling, and it doesn't allow much growth or progress if you don't have a belief in yourself based on some fancy word that some psychiatrist came up with to describe your being. Autism spectrums. I think my mom. She People have been saying that my mom might be on the autism spectrum, and if so, I don't know how that deals with me. But I have ADHD, and sometimes the symptoms can be kind of similar. Um, Electric. Oh yeah, yeah. Electric Wizard. This is the band that I have. Check this out. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe not. It says something pretty messed up on the back, so it's probably good I don't show you. But Electric Wizard, yeah, they're a stoner metal band. I really like that kind of stuff, stoner metal, psychedelic stuff. But yeah, so ever since then, went from no audience to having a small audience of active people with everyone here. I can't wait to start working with more people. Some people think that I just make beats, but I also rap too. If you haven't heard some of my raps, there are plenty out there that you can check out. Not as many as my beats, but there are a few. And I also sing, although I have to practice sing. I have to get that up. So anyone who needs a singer or a rapper on their project, I am here for that. But if murder was legal, we would have much more polite society. That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh, Sleep rules. Yeah, Sleep is a good band. I found a lot of like stoner metal bands that people don't necessarily know. One is Goat Snake. Goat Snake is a good one. They do like heavy stoner metal, but mixed with blues singing on this one album. It's really interesting. Clean blues singing with like the heavy riffs. Oh, and by the way, I heard this guy, Finn McKenty, he's reviewed some of my stuff. And he was saying that heavy metal fans don't care about vocals. And I was wondering if there's any heavy metal fans in this chat. What do you think about that? Do you think that vocals are like less important than say the riffs or the instrumental in metal? Because I mean, I a lot of the metal that I listen to has like some kind of a vocal edge. You care about metal vocals, yeah, Clay. I mean, it's um some bands don't necessarily, but for me, that detracts 100% from it. Sure, it's not mixed like pop or whatever. It's not mixed like I don't know, EDM, soul music, whatever it would be, R&B, rap. But it's still like I think one thing he was talking about specifically was how the vocals had to fit this groove where it was where it felt good for the song, like it fit into the song's kind of attitude or tone or mood or whatever. That's what, yeah, exactly, Blue Unicorn. Some do, some don't. Melvin's vocals are nonsensical because the vocals are a space holder for the music. Yeah. So one other person said that it was like using the vocals as another instrument, not necessarily leaning too hard into the lyrics, so to speak, but just using it as a kind of another tone, which is kind of cool. But if you go into a lot of like black metal and death metal and stuff like that, there's some really amazing lyrics, albeit they're going to be pretty brutal. But just the wordplay and the not the wordplay, but like the amount of richness and literature to all of the lyrics is something pretty amazing. Um, yeah, it's awesome. And coming from my background, I also write from time to time, although I'm a writer who hates writing because I get bored because of my ADHD. So I love the idea of writing, but yeah, I love Eins Einstürzende New Button, but I don't speak German. So exactly like you said, the vocals are just another instrument. I find that with rap too. I like to listen to a lot of foreign rap. This is one guy, his name's T or T Killa. He's from Mexico, and he has some of the craziest flows, and like the instrumentals are nuts, and just a really cool artist. So that's always fun. And there's also Italian rap. I yesterday I do this kind of thing where I do world traveling all around the world with just looking up. Say I looked up Nepalese rap, so rap from Nepal, and I found some cool artists. I found this one had a really cool instrumental. I believe I forget what his name was, but yeah, just looking up. I think it's called. There's a term for it called nephop, Nephop. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so this stream seems like it's been going pretty good for the short amount of time that we've been doing this for. I'm not a screen. Sorry, I've been missing questions or comments. I'm not a screamo fan, but I like metal vocals. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Axiom's here. Um, I like the ideas of taking two genres and mashing them together in some ways. Like I had this thought yesterday of putting heavy metal and soul music together. Like, soul singing and big band jazz or whatever. I think that'd be sweet. Death metal is huge in Nepal. A guy from high school had a band called Skinned, and they have played in Nepal 3 times. That is so cool. Yeah, that is excellent. That is so cool. Um, yeah. So, it's good to see you, Axiom. We're just kind of having a chat about this and that and whatever. Um, yeah. Oh, I guess I could go deeper into the whole what schizophrenia is. It's kind of like I'll be brief because it's pretty drawn out and dry stuff, but um yeah, you have it's just a collection of symptoms. Psychosis is a collection of symptoms, and as someone who has been diagnosed schizophrenic, you have a more of a sensitivity and a proclivity to chronic psychosis, which sounds pretty bad, but it's to some different degrees of that. So that's cool. We used to listen to Cataclysm and Morbid Angel and such. And last time I saw this guy, he said they both toured with both those bands all over Sweden. Holy shit, that is amazing. Um, but yeah, so with schizophrenia, you have hallucinations, which are sensory sensory inputs that aren't there. They're tricks on your mind. They're like seeing things that aren't there, hearing things that aren't there, like voices or sounds or this or even you can have like some people have like tactile hallucinations where they feel someone like bugs or something on them. I don't necessarily have that. Sometimes I get voices. Sometimes when it's really bad, I can see some weird shit. But yeah, then that's the hallucination side of it. And then there's delusions, which are a lot worse, I think, anyways. They're like fixed false beliefs about the world, where if I believe that, city buses were actually evil Nazi transformer robots that were supposed to, that were trying to take over the planet, and I didn't even have evidence for it. Someone showed me evidence that it wasn't true. I'd still believe it, and that's what delusion is. It's good to see you, folk punk. Just walked in from work. Just need to shower, but this is such an interesting stream. I'm sitting here all covered in. Yeah, well, that's cool. Working pretty hard. So, but yeah, then that's the delusion. So you can, and it's weird. It's almost like your mind comes up with the first weird, stupid thought that you come up with. It's like your mind completely wants to believe that, no matter how weird it is, that it'll find ways of rationalizing it. My friend had command voices and delusions. He would call his house and leave messages on its answering machine for burglars. Yeah, it's such. There's so many. It's a wide varying amount of weird different things that may happen. For a very long time now, I've been very stable. Sometimes I get voices. It's not really a bother. I do a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy, which is I basically all I do is I write down all of my thoughts, and then I challenge them, and I just come at it with the idea that no matter how hard I believe something, I can always be changed. And one thing that's cultivated is an open mind. I've been able to open my mind up to a lot more empathy towards a lot of different types of people out there, a lot of different experiences. So yeah, it's kind of helped out with that. I'm a lot more just easygoing, I guess, when it comes to different people. And then there's the third one, so it's hallucinations, delusions, and then disorganized thinking and disorganized behavior and all that. Just being disorganization. So if I tried to say to you, "Hey, how's it going?" It might take 10 minutes for me to say that because my mind is so disorganized that I can't literally get the thoughts together in order to, even hold or maintain a a conversation, right? And then and those are what are called positive symptoms, and it's not because they aren't positive, so to speak. It's because they add something to your base level experience. And then the negative symptoms are just basically it just draws, like, it's like depression. You have low motivation, low mood. It's a thing called anhedonia, where you don't feel pleasure from the activities that you used to feel pleasure from, and stuff like that. And that is what makes it up. But luckily, exercise and the medication seem to be helping kind of curb those for the most part. But at the same time, I still get a bit of that. It's almost like being in depression for a lot of the time. Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks for acknowledging that, folk punk. I am I'm very open about it because I think I can take the criticism, and most of the criticism that would come would be just ignorance. So I think that if someone is able to articulate just exactly what it's like to feel. Oh, hey Valerie. Be able to articulate how this mental health stuff works, and that, it's not a character flaw. It never is for most people. I mean, it's not a character flaw. It's not like I'm wanting this to happen or I chose this. But what's good about it is that I personally can't speak for anyone else, but I personally want to be able to step up my game and work on myself to the point where I can offer something, not only to myself but to the people around me, to the people in my community. I want to be able to eventually do charity work. I want to I want to be able to make days brighter for the people around me. I've I've seen pretty horrible times in my life being homeless and all that stuff, and addiction and lots, and the mental illness, of course, is a big portion of that. Um, but I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to kind of make people's lives easier, make it fulfilling and validate them and everything like that. So, but yeah, ADHD is a whole nother thing, and I have it too. So there's that. It's like schizophrenia and ADHD, and it's weird because I don't necessarily see it as a double entendre, not entendre, double doubly as hard to deal with because I've got two of them. It just kind of the symptoms kind of like seep into another, and they kind of like just what people look at as this diagnosis or label. I just look at it as being me. I've been 100% me the whole time I've been alive on this planet. It's not about symptoms or conditions. It's just about how do I get around? How do I deal with things in in the world? How do I exist in a meaningful manner? Folkpunk, you're asking, were you thinking of doing a song for Russ's cancer charity project? Well, this is gonna sound really lame, but when I first saw that trailer, I I immediately wanted to make a song. And there's a lot of time for that. It's up until September or something like that. I'm planning on doing it. But every single time I start thinking and trying to think about the lyrics that I'm gonna sing, I start crying. Like, I can't sit here and write lyrics because I'm like, I can't deal with it. It's too it's too soft of a topic. I mean, I have never had cancer. I don't know people who have had it, but I can just imagine the kids and dealing with that. Because I guess there's one thing. Um, I I had a near death experience when I was 6 or 7. I think it was 7. No, it was 6. I was 6 years old, and I had a near death experience where a car backed up over with two tires on one side, backed up over my stomach slowly. And at that point, I mean, I hadn't thought about that, coming to terms with that kind of situation. But yeah, that was pretty nutty. And then after that, I had a lot of phobias around roller coasters and just being out of control and trapped. I think trapped was a big phobia of mine. It probably still is. But just thinking about that, bringing me back to that place where these kids are dealing with cancer and they're in the hospital and they have to really think about that mortality. That kind of it's a tough one for me. So you're right. I hope that it'll be a strong song. It'll come from a place of wanting to relieve the tension. Some people they kind of, oh wow, holy mackerel, Axiom. Had a dog attack you. Out of body experience twice that day and still remember it like it was yesterday. Wow. Wow, that's pretty brutal, dude. Sorry to hear that happen. Um Yeah. Once I firmly believe that once you kinda if at such a young age of dealing with something like that, it kinda changes you. It makes you view life differently and the whole, maybe it makes you more cautious or maybe it makes you more, I don't know. It's yeah. Wow. That's pretty intense. But yeah, I plan on making a song for that. 300 stitches. Holy moly. That's hardcore. Are you what's your opinion on dogs, if I can ask? Like, do you is it still a sore spot, or are you cool with dogs? Or is it kind of a phobia? Either way, that's pretty brutal. But yeah, oh man, I'm really happy. There's 16 people here. I expected there to be 3, maybe, over like the whole stretch of the stream. But I'm probably gonna do this for about an hour, just blab on and blab on and blab on, because I gotta save some of that blabbing for for future streams. So yeah, holy moly. Yeah, that person you're mentioning, Blue Unicorn, that had all those horrible things happen to them. You know, maybe some of the brain damage had something to do with that. If he suffered brain damage, it might have created a less of inhibitions towards dangerous activities. You never know. But oh hey, that's what he was talking about. Gordium said dulcimer on this side. Dulcimer up there. Yeah, it's my Merlin up here. It's like a guitar that it's hard not to play right. It's a diatonic instrument, so it's always in major key, and it's a fun little thing. It's like a little ukulele dulcimer thing. Anyways, as you can see, with my ADHD, I bounce around from topic to topic, and all of a sudden, it's like whiplash. It's like conversation goes here, conversation goes there, all over the place. Which helps with my music because I've developed the ability to sit down at a computer and only have to sit for 45 minutes hyper focusing on something, and then I'm done. I can't go back unless I'm trying to work on music now where I make part of a song in one sitting. So like I dive headfirst into the process of a feeling of one song. So I get one part of it, one loop down with this kind of a mood, a kind of theme, and then I make another one in the same key afterwards. But it takes on a whole different feeling. But when I mash them all together at the end, oh sorry, when I mash it, I'll get to your question in a second, Anon Mouse. Um, So I mash it all together at the end, and it being in the same key, it kind of works. It kind of works all together, but I'm just trying this new thing on recently. Your question was, is your music meant to be an extension of your introspection, or is that overthinking it? Your tracks are a variation of feels to me, but maybe I understand better now. So, um, I think about it like my writing. When I used to creatively write, I'd want to take someone to another place, like create a vibe where it feels like you're in my imagination. I'm making the song and I'm going through this journey as I'm kind of like making the melodies and everything like that. I get flashes of this or that, different kinds of just images and stuff like that, and I kind of yeah. But for the most part, it's just a you are a machine, man. I couldn't believe how quickly you assembled the parts on Subwoofer Blues. Once I sent you my part, it was like minutes. Yeah. Yeah, it's the longest part for me is like literally creating the melodies and the drum beat. I hate drums. I use samples sometimes, well, a lot of the time. But I have a thing with drums where I think maybe my beats are like a little bit too generic when I program them all in there myself. But yeah, I love doing the whole beat thing. I was jokingly saying on Valerie's stream that I'm a hack or whatever. I just it's weird as I don't feel like a musician unless maybe it's this unrealistic idea that I have in my head where I have to be literally playing an instrument in order to have music being played or perform live. But maybe that's just not the case. Maybe I can be a DJ and just DJ my music, maybe DJ some of the beats of the community. Who knows? That's one thing. I have a job now. What I didn't have a job for a bit there, but I could probably save up for some CDJs, you know, and make like DJ streams. That'd be cool. I am a creator. For me, it is a motivation problem. The task takes moments, but the will to undertake the task might take months. Yeah. You don't want to see my kitchen because my dishes are horrible. They're almost always horrible. And then I'll wash them maybe once in a blue moon. But I have similar issues with motivation. My house is clean to a certain degree. It's not bad, but I find that with a lot of things in my life, it takes me a long time to get the ball rolling. But once it's rolling, I feel it's a bit easier. That's my take on it. Um, but yeah, I'm a creator. I'm a content creator, as folk punk just said. Only a musician would own a dulcimer. Mine's in my closet. Yeah, but you have the other one. You have the mountain dulcimer, right? And it has a pickup on it, doesn't it? Which is pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. Um, I've got a cool setup over here. I've got my plants. I've got like my stereo speakers. I don't know if you can see those. They're like, oh, I'm really terrible at this. Okay, there's like big standing speakers that go from the floor to the ceiling, and that's how I keep my neighbors up at night. Um, oh yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this thing going until an hour. And by the way, you don't have to, but it would be kind of cool if I can get a decent amount of likes on this stream. I don't know how many people. Well, there's 11 people here right now, if that number is accurate. But if you feel so inclined, give her a like. Not sure how much it's gonna really make things different, but uh, I don't necessarily listen to Lord Blue Unicorn. Oh, you're talking to Gordium. Yeah, dulcimers are really cool. I like the sound from them. It's almost like a mandolin, but like crisper. I have not found a good way to kind of record that thing. It I don't know, the way it just doesn't come across in the microphone very well, but I think it'd be kind of cool to. I made a track with it, but I pitched it down, and that track is called Extrasensory Perceptions. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of an interesting beat. Um, yeah. So I wouldn't mind hanging out with you guys every week. So you get to see me. You kind of get an idea of what I'm like. So if I see something really stupid and off color in chat, I'm just kidding. Or you know I usually don't I'm not like an aggressive or too sarcastic kind of person. At least I don't feel that way. One thing that the music community has taught me how to be is a lot more positive. Not that I wasn't very positive before, but it's amazing the gratitude I feel for all this stuff. So, um, yeah, 10 more minutes. Uh, this is the beginning of something amazing, I think. once I get my tripod for my camera and I kind of figure out um I figure out a good kind of program or kind of I don't know, like a weekly kind of show or something like that. Something that I can do that would be interesting, help grow my channel. I think, hey, I feel good enough already. I feel good enough in front of the camera. And I'd hope that every single person in the community who feels comfortable doing something like this, I think they should give it a try because sure you might be a bit rough at the start, but once you kind of get traction, it's amazing. It's really great. I don't get a lot of time to talk to people in my real life. Hey Zach, how's it going? I like how you always say hi to me. It's really cool. So, um, yeah, I don't have very many friends in real life. I have about, you know, 1 or 2, maybe 3 that I hang out with on a fairly kinda semi-regular basis. So it's good to have a lot of people on here online and kinda talk and be able to, connect with, which is it's very nice. Yeah, I feel very blessed to have what I have. Although some days, the ups and downs, sometimes I feel that my music is like garbage or whatever, but yeah, nobody really gets my channel as it is meant to be because nobody really ever watched the videos, and if they do, it's not in order. Okay. So kind of an avant-garde kind of thing going on. That's pretty cool. I used to make I used to make short films when I was a kid. Ever since I started in middle school and then I went all the way to high school where I was in film production. We had a great film production class in my high school. Then after that, I went into an employment program, and there was a film section in there, and I did such a good job where I edited literally everybody in the class's videos. I edited all of them on the computer, and so that she gave me the computer, and then she also hooked me up with a scholarship for a film school. So I was able to go to a place kind of somewhat close to here called Galliano Island, and there's a film school there that I was able to go to, and it was pretty decent. So since then I've always kind of wanted to get into the whole filmmaking, skits or doing some kind of music video or this or that. I haven't had a lot of time because the mental health thing, the whole schizophrenia, just kind of made that whole dream cave in. But here I am, and things are looking on up and up. So, yeah, no, I keep an open mind. I just because one thing, Blue Unicorn, that I always have to keep in mind is that my perceptions, like all people's perceptions, it is a real instrument. Yeah, Io walks. It's called a Merlin. There it is, up there. And it's like a cross between a dulcimer and a ukulele. They're really super easy to play. Um anyhow, um oh yeah, yeah, what is it? I heard this saying and it says all people are delusional. It's just that the philosophers are the ones who analyze their delusions, which is kind of cool. A hack is someone an engineer longs to be. A hack can solve any a problem in half the time an engineer can. That's cool. So I'm blowing fat clouds of fog. Um, a month away from cigarettes. I haven't had a cigarettes in a month. You play the ukulele a little. That's kind of cool. I kind of put that in my music sometime. Like I was saying before, I've recorded it and put in some of my songs. It's an interesting instrument. But yeah, yeah. I congratulate myself for not having a cigarette in a month, which is really good. I'm very happy. Once a year, engineers get together and have a hack party to test their skills. That's hilarious. So, anyways, it's kind of getting to that time. Thanks, Falcro. Yeah. A lot of things are going well in my life. I got a car now, which the whole reason behind me making music from the start was so that I could play it while driving. And I wanted a subwoofer. Still haven't figured out the subwoofer thing. I haven't got the subwoofer yet. But once I have that, there's tons of crazy roads around here, windy forest roads. And I just want to drive and listen to my music. I've done it a couple times with my speakers that I have in there, but I'm making dreams come true and things are coming together. So, anyways, that's gonna wrap up the stream for today. I'm very happy that thank you, Valerie. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, so that's going to wrap up the show today. I'm thankful for every single person who came out here. If you don't mind, you can like it or whatever, like the stream or whatever. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm just taking it real casual because I just kind of want to be able to hang out and talk to people and you can see me, right? So, all right. Well, anyways, everybody have a great day and I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.